Stories from the heart of mid-Michigan. This is Fox 47 Morning News.
Health experts are urging people who attended faster horses to get tested for the novel coronavirus. I'll have more later.
The grades are in and homeschools seem to be earning an A+. I'm David Spunt with more on the new shift and the way kids are being taught. That's coming up.
Construction on Lansing Community College's Gannon Ramp is expected to be complete by August of 2022. Coming up, what the school plans to do with their 12 other parking lots they have around downtown.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm Sarah Grimmer, and thank you for starting off your day with Fox 47 Morning News. We're going to begin with our top headlines from your neighborhoods and beyond. Let's get started.
Michigan State Police and the Lansing Police Department are searching for 15-year-old Anne-Marie Elizabeth Chamberlain. She was last seen in the area of 1200 East Michigan Avenue in Lansing. Chamberlain was last seen wearing a green hooded sweatshirt with black shoes. She has sandy brown color hair and is 5'7" and 175 pounds. According to a report from Michigan State Police, she's from Florida and has no ties to Michigan. If you have any information about Chamberlain, you are encouraged to call 911.
Good morning. Today we're expecting some riveting and emotional testimony from 4 officers who responded during the January 6th attack. One of those officers, Michael Fanone, who was beaten, dragged, and also suffered a heart attack on that day. This as some Republicans are calling today's hearing a partisan witch hunt. The first hearing from the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack, focusing on the officers on the ground when rioters stormed the Capitol.
We would like the public to be able to see and understand what it was like to be on the front lines that day.
Among those testifying, Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn.
Here we are giving so much and putting our lives on the line to protect democracy and keep it, and we're being called racial slurs, traitor.
Republicans call the hearing nothing more than a partisan witch hunt.
I don't see how the basis of this report would ever come back that anyone would give it credibility.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy pulling all 5 Republican members he selected to join the committee after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected 2 of them, Representatives Jim Jordan of Ohio and Jim Banks of Indiana.
The 2 that I would not appoint are people who would jeopardize the integrity of the investigation.
The committee will still have Republican representation from 2 members appointed by Pelosi. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger keep the committee bipartisan while keeping out any of former President Trump's allies.
Put some facts on the table in particular to counter some of the attempts at whitewash that have been going on.
And some other things to expect in today's hearing, some never-before-seen footage during the January 6th attack, and we're also going to have opening statements from the chairman of the committee, Mr. Benny Thompson, and also from the Republican side, Congresswoman Liz Cheney. In Washington, I'm Daryl Forges.
Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. 3 COVID-19 vaccines are shot at ending the pandemic, but millions don't want them. Now we're averaging more than 50,000 new COVID-19 cases a day, up more than 60% over last week's 7-day average, and hospitalizations more than doubled over the last 3 weeks. Delta is doing damage around the country. Nearly 44% of counties have what the CDC considers to be high COVID-19 transmission. That means 100 or more cases per 100,000 people, or at least a 10% positivity rate in the past 7 days. It's just about every county in Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. In Arkansas, it's every county. Same with Florida, which had more COVID-19 deaths over the past week than any other state.
More than 90% of the patients who are being admitted to the hospital are unvaccinated.
They're desperate because they're gasping for air.
Unfortunately, we're having people that are very young with no preconditions, and they're getting pretty sick.
Healthcare workers are exhausted.
We kind of really haven't had a chance to recuperate and recover, and now we're right back into it. These patients are very difficult to take care of.
We have to adapt to a world with COVID in it. We have to adjust our expectations to this new reality.
It gets emotional. It's difficult to watch this day in and day out.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
It's been more than a week since the Faster Horses Country Music Festival, and people who attended it are now being told to get tested for COVID-19. Nearly 24 cases have been linked to Faster Horses so far. Your neighborhood reporter, Joe Gebhardt, reports.
37,000 people gathered at Michigan International Speedway to see their favorite country music artists play at the Faster Horses Festival. At least 23 people have contracted the novel coronavirus. A reminder, the pandemic is still going around us.
I think it's just important that everyone understands their risk, that particularly people who are unvaccinated recognize that they could be carrying the virus, particularly if they have symptoms, and they should be cautious.
There has been a slight uptick in cases in the state overall after a peak in March. Jackson County has seen about 5 new COVID cases daily on average. In Hillsdale County, it's less than 1. The Lansing area has seen almost 8 new daily cases on average. The trend started several weeks ago.
I'm certainly concerned about the direction that our cases are going in right now.
The trend started several weeks ago.
For the first time last week, started seeing an increase in the number of people who are in the hospital being treated for COVID-19. So even though we are not quite where we were with our surge that we had this past March and April, we are certainly starting to see our cases trend in the wrong direction.
More variants will continue to pop up according to health officials unless...
The most important thing we can all do to end this pandemic as quickly as possible is to simply get vaccinated.
Yet that might be easier said than done with vaccination protests happening across the state. Almost 63% of Michiganders have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. In Jackson, that number is just under 54%. Hillsdale County has less than 37% of its residents fully vaccinated. In Ingham County, 54.6% of residents are fully vaccinated.
Even though we do have these more easily transmitted variants, including the Delta variant, the vaccines are effective against that Delta variant. So all is not lost. We have the tools that we need. It's just a matter of we need people to continue to step up and get vaccinated, not just to protect themselves, but to protect the entire community.
Health officials urge people to get tested for COVID if they attended Faster Horses. Your neighborhood reporter in Jackson County, Joe Gebhardt, Fox 47 News.
A Genesee County judge is being asked to stop the Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners from paying hazard pay to itself. Politicians from both sides of the aisle have criticized the move. Fox 47's Erica Murphy was at the court hearing about the money and has the story.
A Genesee County judge is issuing an injunction to stop Shiawassee County employees from spending the hazard pay money they just received.
And I will grant an injunction as has been requested, and I'll extend it through the date of the next board meeting. My intention is not to interfere with how the government in Shiawassee County decides to distribute their funds. My only purpose with regard to injunctive relief is to protect those funds.
A lawsuit filed last week alleges the Shiawassee County Commission was wrong when it decided to pay itself and other county employees hazard pay without allowing the public to weigh in. An attorney for the plaintiff says the commission continues to violate the Open Meetings Act and on Monday asked Genesee County Circuit Court Judge Mark Lachana to step in to stop those employees from spending that money. One commissioner, Marlene Webster, testified telling the court she didn't know some of those payments would go to her and her colleagues on the commission.
I thought we were voting on giving our county employees about $2,048 apiece, which made sense to me. I've seen similar distributions from similar funds to similar people, and there was no discussion about this going to elected officials and certainly not to county commissioners.
County Board Chairman Jeremy Root got $25,000. 2 commissioners received $10,000 each, while 4 others received $5,000 each. Webster says when the payment amounts came to light, she started getting calls from people saying that some county employees were threatening to walk off the job because they were upset that the county's top brass got the lion's share of the American Rescue Plan funding. Attorney Philip Ellison says he thinks the judge did the right thing.
The mechanics of this still needs to be figured out, but I suspect the county employees who receive those funds will be directed to return those funds back to the taxpayer bank accounts that the county administers on behalf of the public.
Ellison also says the injunction lets the commission and the public have a mulligan to allow the public to weigh in on who should get hazard payments and how much they should get. The injunction is valid through the Shiawassee County Commission's next board meeting, which is slated to take place on August the 12th, or any special meeting where hazard pay is part of the agenda. Reporting from Flint, Erica Murphy, Fox 47 News.
We're going to have more stories from your neighborhoods in a couple of minutes. But now we're moving on to your latest forecast. Our meteorologist, Candace Monticelli, is standing by, and she has that for you.
All right, Mid-Michigan, on this Tuesday, we're starting off with another really calm, quiet, and a beautiful day for you. Plenty of chances to get outside, especially if you like that summer heat. We'll push temperatures this afternoon into the upper 80s. We are going to reintroduce a little bit of that humidity, so it's going to feel a little bit sticky and muggy out there as we do push our dew points into the mid 60s. So just ever so slightly going to feel that mugginess there with partly cloudy conditions. I think we see more and more sunshine as we get later and later into the day with a little bit of a breeze there, mostly out of the west southwest. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy conditions. Temperatures dip back into the lower 60s, a really calm evening as we've had this calm start to the work week. But now, starting Wednesday, overnight into Thursday, that's when we'll see our next chance for showers and storms. So we still have some time, still plenty of dry time, even as we get throughout the day tomorrow. So today, don't forget those sunglasses and make it a great Tuesday. For now, I'm meteorologist Candace Monticelli.
National Lasagna Day is right around the corner. Coming up, I'll tell you about local chefs giving away free lasagnas.
Here's another story now from the heart of Mid-Michigan.
National Lasagna Day is July 29th, and the organization Lasagna Love wants to show extra love this week by giving away 100 lasagnas across the greater Lansing area and 5,000 across the country.
Starting on Saturday, running through next Sunday, we're hoping to make 5,000. That is 500 more than we as a national team have ever made in any week before.
Wallace says the organization was started by a woman named Brannon Men during March of last year.
She started thinking, I got to do something. You know, we're all helpless, we're all at home. And she posted on a neighborhood group, I'll make someone a meal. Let me know if you would like me to make you a meal. I'll drop a lasagna on your porch, contact free.
From there, chefs all over wanted to help spread the love.
At the moment, there are 66 in the greater Lansing area. About 40 of those are active at any point in time to cook.
Wallace says lasagnas are perfect for anyone in need. They're a comfort food.
I've delivered some fabulous neighborhoods, but they're just overwhelmed. Need doesn't matter. If you feel you need that warm hug, you need somebody to bring you a meal, we are there.
It's a really personal way to connect with folks that need food. The very first person that I made a lasagna for had a 2-pound preemie that hadn't been able to cook for their other 2 kids because they were at the hospital all day.
In the last 5 months, Wallace has made 50 lasagnas for people in the Lansing area. Lasagna Love chefs accept donations, but pay for a lot of the ingredients themselves.
If you've ever heard of the starfish story, little boy walking on the beach, throwing starfish back, and the old man says to him, you know, you're look at how many starfish there are here. You're not going to do anything for this. And he tosses one back and he says, but I made a difference to that one. Every person that I bring a meal to, that's my one.
I can't tell you how great it feels to deliver a lasagna to someone's house like a ninja and then take off, you know, and then you get a text that says, oh, it was great.
Anyone in the greater Lansing area can request a free lasagna once a month. We'll have a sign-up link on our website at Fox 47 News. For now, I'm Yasmin Ludi, Fox 47 News.
Do all of these item shortages make you want to have a drink? Well, it turns out there is a shortage of that as well. Consumer reporter John Matteries has more on the liquor brands that may be hard to find, so you don't waste your money.
Here's what you need to know today, so you don't waste your money.
It seems like there has been one shortage after another during the pandemic. Now, It's liquor, believe it or not. Consumer reporter John Mattery shares what brands are in short supply and why you should not panic so you don't waste your money.
With all the stress of the pandemic, many people got some relief from an occasional adult beverage. Well, isn't this great? Now there's a liquor shortage, too. Molly Wellman is a mixologist. You might say a bartender with a master's in mixing.
This is Origin by Kerrigan.
At her bar, she's noticed some popular brands of liquor are getting hard to find.
And there's shortages everywhere, from this past year and a half, dealing with the COVID and stuff.
She says it's a result of bars reopening, sky-high demand, and supply and delivery issues.
It is. And it'll get back on track. It will.
Liquor store owners say there's no need to worry. This is nothing like last year's toilet paper shortage, but they say you might find some shortages of some top shelf liquors that used to be fairly plentiful.
We're seeing a lot of shortages across all brands of beer, wine, and liquor. But definitely tequila, we're seeing lots of shortages.
Store manager Matt Spalding has a few empty spots on his shelves now. Brands that can be hard to find include Patron Tequila, Tito's Vodka, Malibu Rum, and Woodford Reserve Bourbon.
There's lots of bourbon out there, and there's lots of bourbon that people can't get right now.
Molly says your best bet is to be open to different brands, and says just ask your mixologist.
If they're a great bartender, they know what to do with it.
Advice you can tip a glass to.
Cheers.
So don't worry, there's plenty of liquor, so drink responsibly and don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery, Fox 47 News.
Priorities are changing for people looking to buy a new home. A report by Zillow showed distance and commute time are not as important to home buyers as affordability and price. Zillow says before the pandemic, most people would not consider buying a home if the commute was going to be longer than 45 minutes or maybe an hour. A spokesperson says people are now willing to live far away from the city and urban centers. Data shows that homes that are within 10-minute drives of downtown areas are among the most expensive homes in 18 American cities. Gen Xers face the biggest challenge when it comes to changing workforce due to the pandemic. A study by the nonprofit employment organization Generation showed workers between the age of 45 and 60 will find it the most difficult to find a new job opportunity. The CEO of Generation says that age group faces biases among hiring managers, and they tend to be more reluctant to learn some new skills. The study showed 38% of hiring managers believe older workers are not receptive to new technologies. 21% believe Gen Xers have the most difficulty working with other generations. The news wasn't all bad for that age group. The study showed 87% of hiring managers reported their Generation X workers performed as well or better than their younger workers.
Fox 47 News is on your phone. Download the Fox 47 News app for Mid-Michigan news coverage wherever you are. Coming up next, Bob and Deb are back with another Morning Blend.
This morning on The Blend, we're joined by Naveed Ullah, who is with the Capital Area Michigan Works. You're the New American Navigator. What does that mean?
New American Navigator is basically a job to provide resources to new Americans and to asylees and refugees, technically. And other than that, there are other people who are, anyone who is coming to my doors, I'm helping him out with the barriers for employment.
Wonderful. So how can Americans, or I should say, how can new Americans get connected to the Capital Area Michigan Works and then find out the resources and connect with you so you can help them?
There are two types of clients for me, or three types of clients for me. One are already participating in public assistance programs, and they are running within the Canva building. So clients are referred to me from there because of the policy. If some resources cannot be provided to them, so they are sent to me. And when they are referred, that's a good thing. The other is the community partners like St. Vincent Catholic Charities or Refugee Development Center. They are referring me, my clients, my referral forms are over there, my information is there. The third is that the clients can come right away, walk in and ask for at reception that this is my problem and I want to meet someone for help, and they will get the help.
I'm glad that there's resources available. So I'm curious, in your opinion, why do you think it's important to have specific support services for new Americans?
See, when the new Americans come over here as refugees, so what happens is that they are moving to a new country. They don't know the language. Language is one of the barriers. They don't know the culture. They don't know the system. Even they don't know how to use a bus. They are illiterate. So for settling them down over here in the USA, in their social life, in their work life, in their family life, that is very important to provide them resources. Socially, they need to learn how to live in USA. We have to assimilate them into this society. Technology is a major issue for them.
Yeah.
How to raise kids in their family, that's a major issue. What is their mental health? They are going through depression. They have saw a lot in their own country. So they need mental health. And at the same time, how to work over here. Do they have the required skills to be working in the US? They don't have that. And that is the point where we need to provide them help and support. Otherwise, they cannot survive. It's something like this. If I move to another city, what will happen with me?
Yeah.
I have to find resources. This is something like this.
We're going to put your information on the screen. Thank you for what you do. You make a difference. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Now a check of your Fox 47 forecast.
All right, Mid-Michigan, let's take a look at your weather headlines as we continue along on this work week. A really calm start to the week because we had plenty of sunshine yesterday, more today, and we yet again will be warm. We're going to push our afternoon highs into the upper 80s, but we will reintroduce a little bit of that humidity as our dew points are going to push into the mid 60s. So you'll feel ever so slightly a little bit sticky as you are around town today. Now, severe weather risks, they arrive late Wednesday, truly overnight into Thursday is when we could see some stronger storms if they continue to remain strong, working their way into mid-Michigan. So definitely something to be aware of. Make sure you are away to get weather alerts Wednesday overnight into Thursday. We still have plenty of dry time during our daylight hours on Wednesday as things won't move in until much later. Behind that system then, we're going to be cooler temperature-wise for next weekend. And for those of you that don't like the summer heat, I really think you're going to like this break. Today, though, 87 degrees. Tomorrow, 85. Again, late overnight showers and storms possible working into the first half of Thursday. But once that system pushes through, we'll clear out and dry out and then introduce some cooler temperatures. So 79 degrees on Thursday as we get towards the end of the week and into the weekend. This is now below average temperatures. We should be about 83, 84 degrees for this time of year, and we're only going to be pushing the mid to upper 70s for much of the weekend and into next week. 79 on Saturday, 76 on Sunday, 74 next Monday. So if you enjoy that heat, make sure to soak it up today and don't forget those sunglasses. For now, make it a great Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Candace Monticelli.
There's been a lot of talk about mask mandates because of COVID. Now, vaccination mandates. I'm Doug Luzader in Washington. We'll have more on where those are taking place just ahead.
Stories from the heart of mid-Michigan. This is Fox 47 Morning News.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. My name is Sarah Grimmer, and this is Fox 47 News. The House committee that will investigate the January 6 riots holds its first meeting today. Capitol Police officers are among those expected to share their stories with the committee. The new chief of the Capitol Police says that he supports the officers' testimony and told CBS News they need to be heard. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi added Republican Adam Kinzinger to the panel. He joined Republican Liz Cheney. Pelosi said other Republicans have shown interest in joining the committee. The committee is being led by Democrats, but Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy can make recommendations that must be approved by the Speaker.
The Department of Veterans Affairs will now require that all of its frontline medical workers, doctors, dentists, nurses, get vaccinated, and they are not alone.
We have to.
We have to, said the president, have to get more people vaccinated. And the administration is starting with a sprawling federal agency, the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
In New York City, municipal workers will now be required to get their shots or face regular COVID tests. And in California, a similar mandate covers healthcare workers and all state employees.
We're at a point in this epidemic, this pandemic, where choice, individuals' choice not to get vaccinated is now impacting the rest of us in a profound and devastating and deadly way.
But the mandates raise difficult questions since the vaccines are not yet fully approved by the FDA. And the government now wants to expand testing on children to ensure the shots are safe for those 5 and older. While the overall vaccine approval process has been expedited, there is growing frustration that the FDA hasn't moved beyond emergency use authorization.
They should issue full approval. They just did it for an Alzheimer's drug with 0 clinical data. They should be doing that for the vaccine right now. That'll do a lot more than mandates to get people to take the vaccine.
Meantime, those employees at the Department of Veterans Affairs will now have 8 weeks to get fully vaccinated. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Marshawn Baird, Damon Johnson, and Daryl Smith were just teenagers when their lives were cut short to senseless gun violence right here in Lansing. Now Mayor Andy Short is trying to give more money to community organizations who work with young people in hopes of getting more kids off the street and decreasing gun violence.
Being able to directly fund organizations that are already doing the work instead of reimagining and reinventing the wheel that will take a year or so to accomplish. This is huge for the city of Lansing.
Lansing's Gun Violence Task Force is working with organizations in hopes of decreasing gun violence among youth. The collaboration comes not even 2 months after Short announced the task force.
We looked at our dollars that we had from last year. Our Gun Violence Task Force was set up, and they said we need to help out the programs that are out there right now.
Short is proposing that the city gives $100,000 to organizations that will continue to put on events and provide activities. The money comes from the city's rainy day fund. Short says this effort is important given increasing violent crime in the city. 17 people have been killed in Lansing so far this year, compared to the 22 in all last year. 5 of those victims were teens.
Hoping that the money would go to organizations that are actually going to help.
Tanasia Baird's brother, Marshawn Baird, was shot and killed at Rotary Park back in June. He was only 16.
Marshawn was an outgoing sports player. His main thing to do was to play sports. His main sport was football. He played basketball, I want to say about 2 years, but other than that, he was very humble, a family man. You know, he has all nieces.
Tanasia says she hopes the money the city is giving out goes to organizations that care about solving the issue that ultimately took her brother's life.
More people that are going to really be involved with you. Not people that are just, working just to go and make a living and, working at these community centers to, make their honest living and take care of their families, but people that actually are involved with the children and are actually involved in their lives and what's going on.
We know there are lots of organizations that have programming for our youth, so that's kind of the third piece of it, is making sure that youth don't go down that path. So first, make sure they don't go down the path so you prevent. Second, you try and reform those who've gone down the path. And third, you get the violent offenders off the street so people are feeling safe.
The city council must agree to the proposal in order for the money to go to the organizations. Councilmember Kathy Dunbar, who was running against Short in this year's mayoral race, says she thinks it sounds like a good plan, but hopes it's coming from a genuine place.
I find it interesting that it's happening a week before the election as opposed to any other time during the budget process last year when the calls were being made. So there's that. I mean, I hate to see anybody taking advantage of the crime and the gun violence and the deaths that have already happened here to make a pitch right before an election. That being said, I'm happy that he's finally on board with funding these front-end programs.
Shore did not respond to Dunbar's comment, but he did say his focus is the city's cooperation with community organizations.
And certainly I want to build our reserves, but right now getting an additional shot in the arm to these organizations is tremendously important.
In Lansing, I'm Larry Wallace, Fox 47 News.
Construction on Lansing Community College's Gannon Ramp is expected to be complete by August of 2022. When it's all done, it will house more than 1,700 parking spaces. The original Gannon parking ramp was built in 1976 and was demolished about 6 months ago. It had about 1,000 spaces. But the additional 700 spaces won't mean that LCC will stop using the 12 surface lots it owns around Lansing's downtown, said Chris McCursey, the executive director of Administrative Services Division.
The college over the years has had to lease additional parking lot space from regional partners to reach the numbers that we needed to support our students. And so we have several hundred additional spaces over the years that we have leased. And so with this ramp, we won't have to do that, and we'll still be able to meet our capacity needs for students.
There were close to 22,000 students enrolled at LCC in the fall of 2010. But come the fall of 2020, that number dropped to 10,306. The new ramp also will have access directly off Saginaw Street and North Grand Avenue.
We only had one-way access in and out, and this will have in and out access at several different locations.
The $51 million project includes the ramp along with upgrades and renovations to several of the school's surface parking lots. Alexis Haybeck will be an incoming LCC student this fall. She says she's looking forward to the ramp being complete and says it will be easy access to the school.
It'll be nice because I won't have to worry about parking every day on campus, which isn't too bad now with COVID restrictions and online courses, but maybe in the future when the classes are more in person, it'll matter more.
Reporting in your neighborhood of Lansing, Cali, Montana, Fox 47 News.
One mini golf course hopes to make a major impact on climate change. I'm Marianne Rafferty with more on the creative and educational summertime activity, teaching people to be kind to Mother Earth, coming up.
Here's what's making headlines across the nation.
Meteorologists are predicting another heat dome this week that may bring more scorching temperatures to much of our country. That could potentially worsen air quality as smoke and haze from western wildfires continue to spread over the rest of the country. Mandy Gaither is here to tell us what's causing that smoke to travel so far and also what you can do to protect yourself.
Hazy and smoky skies creating poor air quality on the East Coast. Dozens of large wildfires burning in the west are to blame, generating massive plumes of smoke so large it's visible from space.
When air is warmer than the air around it, it will rise, and when you have a wildfire, it'll carry smoke with it, and once it gets to the higher levels of the atmosphere where the winds are stronger, that can be carried relatively far downstream.
The National Weather Service says particulate matter and all that smoke is generating harmful health effects for people thousands of miles away. For several days, eastern states were trapped in a smoky haze from Philadelphia and New York and even Maine. Some states issuing air quality warnings, urging people to take precautions as meteorologists warn of a heat dome potentially worsening the already dangerous conditions.
Any additional heat waves would not be good news.
Experts say unhealthy air conditions could impact people with heart or breathing issues or anyone doing heavy labor or exercise outdoors.
Particle pollution has been found to impact people's heart and people's lungs. They're very small particles, and they can not only reach deep into people's lungs, but they can even cross into the bloodstream.
Even short-term blips have the potential to increase heart attacks, asthma attacks.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Raging wildfires, unprecedented heat waves, and extreme drought conditions, all taking a devastating toll across much of the western United States. But on the East Coast, the creators of this mini golf course in Brooklyn, New York, are taking a swing at the root of these problems by educating people about climate change.
This is Putting Green. It's an 18-hole mini golf course, all based around themes and challenges and solutions of climate change.
From melting ice caps and habitat loss to using clean energy and more. Each hole centers around a topic pivotal to minimizing our impacts on the planet.
I think it's good to teach both adults and kids because there's some information on these sides I didn't even know, especially some of the stuff about urban resiliency to climate change.
Officials hope combining information with friendly competition will help make learning easier.
These are large, sort of complicated topics in many ways. And the fun, playful nature of mini golf allows it to be approachable.
And while standard golf courses may come under fire for not being environmentally friendly, by taking up land that could be dominated by trees and require mowing from gas-powered machines, this course is made from sustainable materials.
All the decking you see here was actually upcycled and reclaimed. The large globe at the front entrance to the site is actually made out of used bottle caps and recycled turf.
Meanwhile, scientists say the deadly heat waves and dramatic droughts out west would not be possible without human-caused climate change, something the mini golf course hopes to make people aware of. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Fox 47 Morning News will be right back.
According to new data released by the Census Bureau, the number of households choosing to homeschool their kids has nearly doubled, increasing from 5.4% in March of 2020 to 11% in September of that year.
People are looking for options. They want a different option. They've seen a side that they don't like, of other schools, of the school system in general, private and public.
And the trend may only be rising. Nikki Weris is a teacher who opened her own facility, focusing on homeschooling students in small groups. She says with standard brick and mortar schools preparing to reopen in the fall, many of the parents enrolling their kids in her program say they're better off staying there.
95% of the parents I have, they won't go back to traditional school after being here.
Meanwhile, the surge of the Delta variant is causing more officials to reconsider imposing mandatory face mask rules. And in New Jersey, it has people up in arms, with at least 20 students behind a new lawsuit aiming to prevent state leaders and school districts from requiring masks.
We still haven't seen that data show that kids are causing deaths.
Some parents fear all the back and forth is posing severe psychological impacts to their children.
These kids are petrified of taking off their masks. They think they're going to kill somebody.
Besides inconsistencies with school coronavirus policies, experts say more parents are choosing to homeschool their kids because they can better tailor the lessons to their child's specific needs. In Washington, I'm David Spunt, Fox News.
Well, the Navy recently paid tribute to a 100-year-old World War II veteran. But Ima Black is no ordinary 100-year-old. She was among the first women to join the U.S. Navy, and her late husband was a Navy legend himself, with a destroyer named after him. As Mayor Bayer shows us, the Navy helped her celebrate in style.
How many 100-year-olds do you hear are going out in a helicopter flight?
Ima Black makes a great point. This plucky World War II veteran celebrated her century mark in style.
It was an honor to fly Miss Black and show her the city of Jacksonville from the sky and what we get to see every day. She got a great view because it's the seat that provides the best view out the cabin side door.
They left the door open so I could see. I had the whole door there, so
Was it really windy? Ima's great niece is married to a Navy man serving on the Delbert D. Black and loved seeing her great aunt fly for her 100th birthday.
Unreal. I couldn't do it. I'm a little scared of heights, so she's an amazing woman. She's not scared of anything.
It was exhilarating. I felt like I was going to heaven.
Black got the chance to fly with Mayport Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron 40, the Air Wolves.
I was looking for my husband, but I guess I didn't go up high enough to see him.
She told the USS Delbert D. Black, her late husband's namesake ship, she wanted to ride in a helicopter for her 100th, and the ship made it happen, working with the Airwolves to fulfill the wishes of this Navy widow and World War II veteran.
It was very sad. Very different than riding on an airplane. They left the door open so I could see, and I flew over my ship.
She was piloted around the Mayport area in an MH-60R Seahawk and over her late husband's ship, and then taken to the Delbert D. Black, where the ship's command master chief presented her with a medallion honoring her service in World War II.
On behalf of HSM 40 and all the sailors, thank you so much for being with us today.
Our impression is thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for being such a good call.
Oh, you
are no bumps anymore.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Find out what else is happening in Mid-Michigan. The Morning Blend starts now.
In studio with us today from Aurora Medi Spa in East Lansing, Janelle Lowry. She is a medical esthetician. Janelle, at Aurora Medical Spa, what kind of surgical advanced or non-surgical advanced treatments do you offer for anti-aging?
At Aurora Medical Spa, we offer many treatments that we can customize for each person's individual needs. We have things like microneedling, skin tightening microneedling, chemical peels, laser resurfacing, all therapy, and we have 2 doctors that do all of our Botox and filler injections.
What do you think is the best treatment to lift and tighten the skin with the least amount of downtime?
By far, our best treatment is all therapy. It's the most popular. All therapy it's non-surgical and it has no downtime. It is a leading technology for lifting and tightening the skin. What we do is use ultrasound to find the depth of the connective tissue, and from there we're able to distribute heat to that connective tissue to stimulate healthy cell growth.
Well, how long do the results last after you get advanced anti-aging services?
Well, this is the magic question that everyone asks.
Yeah.
But we all age differently
Sure.
based on genetics and lifestyle and skincare that we use. However, what I like to say about it is, basically when you have treatments done, it's setting back the aging clock a little bit. So most people can, after they finish their treatment plan, can just continue the results with good health skincare products and possibly a few maintenance treatments.
What do you recommend that we should all be doing regularly to help slow those signs of aging?
For sure, it's sunscreen. Sunscreen is probably the easiest thing that people can do to slow down the aging effect. It's the #1 aging. You want to use a good sunscreen with zinc oxide.
What do you think is one of your favorite responses from a client who's come in and used your services, and maybe share a little bit about what that means in their life, transformation-wise?
I have a client in particular that I can think of right off the bat that had dark spots on her skin called melasma, and she had a wedding to go to for her sister. And we did several treatments of chemical peels and hydrofacials. We had 3 months to do it, and she came back and she said it changed her life.
Wow, that's powerful, you know, and sometimes we think of that as maybe something frivolous, but you know, we're all getting our faces back out in the world again, and it has an effect on our confidence and can change your life. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Find more online.
Now a check of your Fox 47 forecast.
All right, Mid-Michigan, let's plan out your day as you get started on this Tuesday. A really calm and quiet start to the day of what will be another beautiful afternoon and evening. Plenty of sunshine out there for you. We will work with a mix of cloud cover, so I think you'll see the most sunshine as we get later and later into the day. Partly cloudy conditions this morning. We'll build some of that cloud cover midday and then lose it again later on. So it all depends on what time you are out and about for how much sunshine you can see. A little bit of a breeze there, mostly out of the west, southwest, but still warmer temperatures pushing into the upper 80s. And we will reintroduce a little bit of that humidity today. Our dew points will be in the lower to mid 60s, so just ever so slightly on that muggy mark throughout the afternoon and evening. Now let's take a look at future track. As we go into tomorrow, we're still going to stay dry and quiet. Heading into the afternoon and evening hours, we will once again build a little bit more cloud cover. And once we get into our late evening, truly overnight, we're going to see some shower and storm potential push into mid-Michigan and then stay with us overnight Wednesday into the first half of Thursday. Definitely something to be aware of. You want to make sure you have ways to get weather alerts overnight and into Thursday morning, because Wednesday night we are in the slight risk for severe weather. I think heavy rainfall will definitely be seen and high wind damage can be possible. Those will be our two biggest concerns out of this system moving Wednesday overnight into Thursday. But once we put this behind us, we're going to usher in some cooler air and dry conditions for the end of the week and most of the weekend. So for now, today, if you like that summer heat, soak it up with temperatures in the upper 80s. Make it a great Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Candace Monticelli.
Well, that is it for Fox 47 Morning News today. But stay tuned. We're going to have more stories impacting your neighborhoods coming up at Fox 47 News at noon.